We get to cash out with the Vegas odds on the Longhorns.
We tell you just what went wrong with the Texas baseball team in the Stanford series.
And OU still sucks on College Press Box.
And if they trying to doubt the South, that's fine. We riding dirty at the same time.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome into your home for the Longhorn Sports. This is College Press Box. I'm Caden Kinard. This is Reese Miller.
Thanks, Caden. Thanks for being on. And, you know, we'd like to dedicate this show just to each and every one of you who are our age and between the 20 and 25 range. And you just had your 5th birthday today. So happy birthday to you and happy leap day to you, my friend.
My roommate turns 4 today,
That's
celebrating with a Kansas basketball game. But the Longhorns men's basketball team last week visited Manhattan, Kansas, and left with a win narrowly. Junior guard Isaiah Taylor scored 13 of his team-high 19 points in the second half to lead the team, the number 25 Longhorns, to a 71-70 victory at Kansas State. With 32 seconds remaining, Taylor hit a pair of free throws to give Texas a 71-67 lead. Then Barry Brown of Kansas hit a three-pointer 20 seconds left to trim the margin to the Longhorn lead to 1. And senior Javon Felix was sent to the free throw line with 14 seconds, and he missed the front end of a one-on-one. Kansas State had one final chance, and a Dean Wade three-pointer fell just short. Taylor grabbed the loose rebound, and the Longhorns escaped with a victory.
Texas returned home on Saturday. We're looking for their 4th win this season over a top 10 team and revenge on Buddy Hield. Let's head to the drum and see how the Longhorns were able to get it done over the Oklahoma Sooners. Texas coaches meeting up front early on. We have running down the lane Isaiah Taylor up and under. That's the miss, but the putback, one hand by Connor Lambert. Quickly down the floor back we go, and it's a deep 3 from OU, who was hot in the first half.
Too much in the first half for OU. They really relied a lot on just outside shot. Buddy Hield. Oh, what can't say enough about this guy.
How about I thought he was going to hang half 100 on the Horns, 26 in the first half. Here's Isaiah Taylor, his one move that may translate to the NBA. That's the floater
only move he has.
From Swaggy. There's Buddy Hield again, the ring around and go down. Here's the other number 3, Javon. He's like a little wizard in there. Just finds a way to get the ball in the bucket.
He's a short little branch among trees, but he's able to finish so well.
I feel like we've seen this highlight 4 times already. Buddy Hield another 3. Here's a kick out to the freshman Eric Davis Jr. Eric Pluckers Davis. There's a 3, and Texas holding on here.
That's a highlight
still early in the first half.
For a lot of years to come. And oh gosh, gotta get the offensive rebound.
That's posterizing for Connor Lambert. There again, we have Tapman himself taken away by Buddy Hield, and the putback. Now DeMarcus Cousins, get out of here. Prince eBay, not up in here. Useless offensively, you might say, but defensively can certainly get it done.
Has a chance to make the NBA just because of what he could do defensively. He's a real all-star on that end of the floor.
Long heave and the slam for Buddy Hield, still doing it. It's really the Buddy show. Beat Texas with the buzzer beater in round 1. Now doing it on him again. Isaiah Taylor off angle and hitting the floor, but hitting the bucket as well. Now right wing 3, Connor Lambert, so good from deep with that lefty shot.
This is a new Connor Lambert this year, way more confident, and it's really translating well for the Longhorns.
Javon Felix finishes off the Texas 25-5 run to really finish that game at one point, a 22 run there. And this dude to my right was there courtside on the game to report on a little bit more. Let's take a look.
Junior point guard Isaiah Taylor had never beaten Oklahoma.
I know Isaiah. He hasn't said this to me, but I know him. He really, really, really wanted to win this game because he had never been a part of a Texas victory over OU.
Taylor controlled the game in the win against Oklahoma, leading Texas in points and assists.
He takes stuff like that personally. So I love that about him. I appreciate that. But he channeled it in the right way.
In the final 6 minutes of the game, Texas sprinted on a 22-0 run, earning their 4th victory over a top 10 team this year. And there was no court storming, and the team was happy about that.
We've been here before.
I was about to answer that. Would
No. No, we don't need that.
The majority of Longhorn games remain close, and they plan for it.
Whenever the season started, Coach, we had 6-minute games, and it was the last 6 minutes of the game. And we have 3 things that we focus on: making our free throws, solid on defense, and taking care of the ball.
To close the game, Texas made 12 of 13 free throws, turned the ball over once, and turned a 7-point deficit into a 15-point lead.
I mean, a lot of people doubted us coming into this game. I think that we just banded together as a team. We stayed connected down the stretch, and that's what got us over the hump. I think if we do that consistently, that we can beat anybody.
The College Press Box, I'm Caden Kinard.
Before you get going, Reese, just let me say what quality work we have here at TSTV. Absolutely unbelievable, top-notch professionals.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
True professionals. You yourself, a true professional, and a great work. Somebody
that's how
hire
that
this
works?
guy.
Yeah,
Somebody
give me a
hire
job.
this guy,
You hear
right?
that?
But before you get hired, we got to keep you here a little bit longer. We're going to get into some Texas men's basketball talk. Right now, the number 23 team in the country. Some people thought it a little bit low, but with 10 losses, you can kind of expect that. But what we want to get into is a little bit about I don't want to say shocking win because we've seen Texas play well, but the 22-0 run and the 25-5 run to end the game that propelled Texas over Oklahoma. What was the difference? Because it seemed like they couldn't get out of being down 3 there most of the second half.
Nothing changed offensively. Nothing changed rotationally. It was just they started doubling Buddy Hield. They started blitzing him off pick and rolls, sometimes just him on the wing. And because of that, Buddy Hield would have to take a step or 2 back. His head was down. He wasn't taking advantage of it quickly enough. And because of that, once he took his 2 steps backwards, the Longhorn defense really was able to capitalize on that. And then Oklahoma didn't have many playmakers outside of Buddy Hield. And because of that, Texas, a superb skill they have is the rotation ability. They're one of the best teams in the nation at helping, showing, and recovering their original guy. And that's kind of how they went on that 22-0 run, even though they did really nothing different.
It's really interesting for Oklahoma. If you limit Buddy Hield, Cousins can do some things to hurt you. But besides that, there's not really one guy that you can rely on.
Yeah, and then early in the first half, the Texas switched everything. They dared Spangler to beat him in the post, and 3 of the first 5 shots were short little jump hooks. 0 for 3. So Texas dared them, and Oklahoma just couldn't take advantage of those mismatches.
Yep, Texas will take that every time. They'll take 0 for 3 tonight, as well as move on to a Kansas preview. Buddy Hield, by the way, 26 first half points, only had 7 in that second half, as you mentioned.
Only.
So yeah, right.
Only finished the game with what?
So
33.
moving on to tonight, can Texas learn from what they did against Oklahoma? Is there a player that they need to double tonight, or how does Texas approach and try to rebound against Kansas?
So Oklahoma, Kansas, sort of all these bigger games, even West Virginia, even though they beat them twice, they haven't been able to make shots. We saw in that second half, they still kind of struggled to make shots, even the entire game. That run was propelled by the defense. So it's got to start with stopping the 44-year-old Perry Ellis. I don't know how long he's been there.
14th year of eligibility?
Yeah, 6th year, he's played all 6 years.
Some rule,
but
right?
It starts with stopping him, and Prince Ebay last game against Kansas got in a lot of foul trouble, and with no Cam Ridley, Clear he can't match up with Perry. He's too slow, too wide-bodied. So Ebay's kind of the X factor in this game. If Texas can win, if he gets to play 32, 33 minutes and hold Perry Ellis in check, that gives the Longhorns the best chance to win.
So what are the chances for Texas to win? We've seen Isaiah Taylor get into foul trouble a little bit. I want to ask you, is there a chance for a letdown? I feel like Texas invested a lot into that Oklahoma game. Is there a chance where you come off beating the number 3 team in the country, that big run, and maybe face the number 1 team, and you're not quite all there? I wonder if that's a possibility.
I think you got to look at Shaka Smart now. Look at what he did at VCU.
Oh.
Those guys always show up. This year, besides the Baylor game, their schedule's been brutal. And they've showed up every single game. That Baylor game was an outlier, and so there's a chance for a letdown. There always is, especially with a sold-out crowd. But is it likely? No, it's not.
So we're not to spring break yet. Here
almost.
We're almost.
Yeah.
And I know you're getting ready for it, and this is leading perfectly where we're going because you're going to Vegas.
I will be.
Lucky guy. So different casinos. You may be placing a couple bets here, and we'll talk about it. Different websites and casinos, specifically Vegas, have different odds, but Texas hovers around the 30-1 odds mark, somewhere between the 14th, 15th, and maybe the 20th odds-on favorite for the national championship for Texas. I mean, 30-1. That's really good odds for a team that has 10 losses and doesn't really have one guy that you can rely on. Are you surprised by that, and what do you think of the Texas odds?
When you look at the team, you're surprised by it because who really sticks out is like this team could make it to the Final Four or win the national championship. But when you watch them play, it doesn't seem surprising at all. It almost, when I'm going to Vegas, yes, I'm putting money legally down on Texas to at least make the Final Four because of just how they're involved in every game, and they don't disappear. They're fighters. They really are. And so it may seem high because they're ranked 23rd, but they've played tougher schedules than most of the teams ahead of them in the rankings. So they're more veteran. They're ready. They're ready.
Hey, let me know. We'll go halvesies and maybe work out some kind of deal from here. Up
fair
next, we'll tell you about two of the best teams on the 40 acres you might not get coverage for anywhere else. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for sticking with us while you're getting ready to watch the Longhorns take on the #1 team in the land, looking for their first ever win over a #1 team. Another first for the first time since 2003 and 2004. The Texas women's hoops team won their 25th game of the year by downing the Red Raiders 76-55. The Longhorns got the first 7 points of the game, but Tech followed that by going on the 16-0 run of their own. Texas was tied going into halftime, but ultimately the Longhorns pulled away, and they are now 14-2 in Big 12 play.
14-2, but the higher-ranked basketball team on the 40 acres played Wednesday against TCU, and the seniors' last game at Club Irwin went pretty well. So let's take a look at the highlights. Senior night, an unbelievable special night, losing some good players, Monty Boyette. There's Selena Rodrigo.
Nice move by Karen Astor. Brady Sanders getting a start as well.
Yeah, started four or five seniors. Brooke McCarty, the sophomore, to get the start. And first, right away, Boyette with the rejection.
They're going to miss that. Monty, so good down low.
Hard to teach. 6'7". Nice little jump hook. TCU, nice little backdoor cut, though, to get an easy layup.
Ariel Atkins, been injured a lot, but another lefty shooter for the Longhorns, really solid. And you know it's great to see Brady Sanders, a hustle player, really a glue player for the Longhorns, and a nice night on senior night.
The fiance of ex-Longhorn Jonathan Holmes. Is that Kelsey Lang with the left-hander?
This is the one non-senior. Brooke McCarty going down the lane from baseline, and that one's good.
She almost finished with a double-double, her and this one as well. Boyette, not quite there in the double-doubles, but
future top 5 WNBA draft pick, I do believe, 6 foot when she was 10 years old. Good Lord.
6'7", she was 13. Middle school must have been rough. And again, Sanders, 71-58 of the final. Texas beat TCU.
The Longhorns played a plethora of games this weekend. The softball team, that is, they won all but one. The one blemish was a 3-0 shutout loss to Tulsa for their first loss of the year. Still, the Longhorns thrashed ACU 15-1, and then followed up with a pretty close one, a 3-2 walk-off win over the Abilene Christian Wildcats. They also beat Tulsa 5-0, rebounding in that one. Weber State and Illinois also fell victim to shutout losses to the Longhorns.
And then our own Jessica Robinson attended the swimming and diving Big 12 championship held here in Austin.
Texas hosted the Big 12 Swimming and Diving Championship February 24th through 27th. Junior diver Mark Anderson won the platform event for his 3rd year in a row. He also took home the gold in his first 3-meter title.
I was really happy with that. That was the highest score I've ever gotten. Went in there trying to keep a calm head, and it worked out.
Senior Megan Houston wrapped up her last event in the Texas Aquatic Center with a Big 12 title.
It feels really good, especially doing it my senior year. Feels like I finally got what I've really been working for.
John Shebbitt, Will Lacone, Joseph Schooling, and Jack Conger took down a Big 12 title set in 2009 in the 400 medley relay. This was freshman John Shebbitt's 2nd Big 12 title of the week.
It feels great to be part of such a good team, such a great guys, and coached by such great coaches. It's just good to bring home the medal for Team Texas.
Junior Will Lacone finished the weekend with a total of 4 Big 12 titles. He keeps his eyes on the coming weeks.
Just trying to improve on how I did at this meet last year and set up well for the national championships coming up in a couple weeks. Best is yet to come. Just be patient right now, which I think is a big key.
Texas men won their 37th consecutive conference title under head coach Eddie Reese, with Texas women winning their 4th consecutive Big 12 title under coach Carol Capitani. The Horns set their sights on the NCAA tournament in late March. Jessica Robinson, College.
Maybe our most bubbly reporter in Jessica
No
Robinson.
question. No
yeah,
question.
but on to women's golf. They finished 5th at the All-State Sugar Bowl held in New Orleans last week. Longhorns finished 5th in the field that featured 6 teams in the top 13, ranked by Golf Stat. Junior Haley Mills posted a season-low tie for 3rd and placed better than 6 players individually ranked in the top 20. Florida won the tournament with a 2-under, 862, while Michigan State's Sarah Burnham and LSU's Sydney Cavan shared medalist honors. Texas resumes its spring season at the UNF Collegiate on Monday, March 7th.
The Texas indoor and outdoor track and field teams are up to big things over the weekend. The indoor women's squad completed the Big 12 indoor three-peat title, while the men fell just short in a tightly contested. They finished 2nd overall in that conference championship. Track and field for outdoor, they swept the pole vault. Caitlin Petrillios won her record 7th Big 12 conference title in the pole vault on Friday.
And then women's tennis competed in the Blue Gray Tennis Classic Friday and Saturday. On Friday against Pepperdine, Texas won 2 of 3 doubles matches to claim the doubles point, but number 10 Pepperdine ran off 4 straight single wins to close out a 4-1 win over the Longhorns in the opening round. Then on Saturday, during the second round of the Blue Gray Classic, Texas claimed the doubles point and finished off 3 single wins to put them away 4-2 over Princeton. Texas returns home next weekend and hosts Michigan State on March 5th at the Whitaker Tennis Courts.
The number 26 overall Texas men's tennis team rallied for a stunning 4-3 victory at number 5 Wake Forest. Night's top 5 victory for the Longhorns. Texas finished off an incredible third set rally behind tie-break wins from Adrian Ortiz, Rodrigo Banzer, and George Goldhoff. The Horns are 7-5 on the year after beating the top 5 opponent. Up next, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll head to the dish and catch up with the Texas baseball team. You will not want to miss it.
Welcome back to TSTV's #1 ranked sports show on Monday night. I'm Caden Kinard. This is Reese Miller. And baseball. Longhorns baseball split a 4-game series with Stanford over the weekend. The Cardinal won the first game on Thursday 1-0 in 12 innings. Stanford won on a bases-loaded fielder's choice. Then on Friday, Texas won 4-3, riding a strong pitching performance from Kyle Johnston with 7 innings and 9 strikeouts. On the Saturday, a dominant 8 innings by senior starter Ty Colbreth in a 9-run, 13-hit effort from the Longhorns offense propelled number 23 Texas to a 9-0 shutout victory over Stanford. Then on Sunday, Stanford just paddywhapped Texas 11-1. The Cardinals scored 3 right away in the first inning and never looked back. So, Reese, Texas is 4-3 early in the season, and the Longhorn offense has been questionable, to say the least.
Certainly. I think you look at the Saturday performance, and it was really kind of the one outlier. And early in the weekend, they got some things going. And in the first couple of games against the second couple of games against UNLV, when that offense really got going. But the problem is really the top of the lineup has really struggled. Zane Gerwitz setting the table. Only batting .207. His on-base percentage isn't any better than that. He really hasn't gotten on base. And what's worse, he's striking out at really an alarming rate for a guy that was supposed to be hitting the ball really well throughout the fall. And, again, setting the table, and he's been up in some RBI situations as well. Brett Boswell has been switching between the 2 spot in the lineup and then a little bit later on down in the lineup, almost like a second leadoff man. Again, .207. Cody Clemens, one of the young hitters in the Texas order as well. I think he's hit a lot of balls hard. He's had some tough luck. Only hitting 185 so far, though. Right. So, again, when you're hitting 185, something's got to change. His brother Casey, struggles continue. Showed a little bit of power over the weekend. Actually almost got his first home run out of the dish. But, again, a wasteland out there for home runs. Couldn't quite get it out. He's hitting .238. And Michael Cantu, who has been hitting in the 4th or 5th spot so far. I mean, these are run-producing spots, and the guys just aren't coming up big. Patrick Mathis showed a little bit of power, but he was hurt over the weekend. So while there are some positive things for the Texas offense, really, the key guys in key spots throughout the order aren't hitting where they need to be. So I think it can come through a little bit. I mean, these guys, like I said, Cody Clemens, Michael Cantu, they've hit some balls hard, just haven't had the luck to show for it so far.
The Longhorns offense averaging 5 runs, but a huge variance in the types of games they've been playing. And you mentioned Clemens.
And shutout in 12 innings on Friday. That was brutal. Nothing hit hard.
But you mentioned Clemens, and at critical points, I think it's 3 errors, I'm not sure. But the team, overall the team, not just him, they've had fielding issues. Is this a cause for concern going forward?
I think it's just strange almost. I don't want to say it's a cause for concern yet because it's almost perplexing to me. Texas to this point has had either 1 or 2 errors in every game they've played so far this season. And for an Augie Garrido coach team that preaches small ball and sound defensive baseball and pitching and defense wins championships type of mentality, we haven't seen that yet. And Cody Clemens, again, I don't know if it's been freshman jitters that's gotten to him because you see his natural instincts in the field are really, really solid. But, you see Tyler Rand miss a fly ball in the outfield. Patrick Mathis have some struggles. I think it's certainly cause for concern. But then again, you're running young kids out here. Rand is very young. Cody Clemens was playing high school baseball at this time last season. Now he's playing third and second. Jake McKenzie's a sophomore. Travis Jones is a sophomore that started 3 games last year. He's had a little bit of a struggle to start. So it's almost this team is so young at key spots. They have to go through their lumps and just sort of experience that, learn from that, and move on. It's growing pains early in the season. Texas isn't in Big 12 conference play yet. They're building that resume, and they've been okay to start. I think it'll get better, so I don't want to press the panic button yet, but it's certainly interesting and surprising to me the lack of confidence in the field so far.
Yeah, and we've been a little negative. They're the number 23 team, or they were the number 23 team. So let's talk about some strengths. What is this Longhorn baseball team? What are they good at?
What are they good at every single year? And it's
Okay,
pitching. It's pitching every single year. Augie Garrido convinces these guys somehow not to go to the draft and to come to the 40 acres. I mean, every single season. Kyle Johnson, fantastic performance. He got the Big 12 Pitcher of the Week this past time, 7 innings, 9 strikeouts. Ty Colbreth, again, on Saturday, had another great performance. Overall, I think what's surprising is Connor Mays, the freshman from Lake Travis last season, had a great year for Texas, looked like a lock for the rotation. He struggled so far this year. Lost his command early in the first inning, really, and Stanford kind of poured on, settled down for a little bit, but hasn't been sharp. I think something to look for going forward, and it's the incredible thing about Texas is the 4 guys who pitched this weekend, I think 2 of them, or 3 of them actually, may be squeezed out of a 3-day weekend rotation because you've got Morgan Cooper coming back from Tommy John surgery. He might be Texas's best arm in the waiting. He's going to have to build up some innings, but he might be the best one in the waiting. Josh Sawyer as well. Again, scouts think he has the potential to be a top 10-round draft pick area. He had a little bit of arm soreness, but he should be fine. So Texas pitching will carry them throughout the season. It's about that hitting keeping up.
So who's going to get pushed out? Connor Hayes? Judging by your analysis the past couple
Boy,
questions?
I think Connor Mays has all the potential in the world to stay there, but he is in that Sunday slot, which would make you think that he would be the first one to go. So we'll see. I think if Kyle Johnston's performance continues and Ty Culver's performance continues, Mays maybe move to a long bullpen guy. Actually had saves for Texas last year, but it seems like Chase Shugart and Travis Duke have taken over the 8th and 9th inning role, so you wouldn't see him there. I think maybe a long bullpen role or a spot starter. It's almost an embarrassment of riches for Texas in the pitching department.
Can't be too rich. That's not a problem. When we come back, we'll look over this week in Longhorn Sports. Happy leap year. What better way to spend your bonus day than with us? But let's look how you're actually going to spend your week right now. In this week in Longhorn Sports, we have Monday. Monday we have women's basketball at Baylor. It's tonight on Fox Sports 1, and then men's basketball against number 1 Kansas on ESPN.
But what do you think people will watch more? Probably women's top 5 matchup.
Yeah, I'm
Baylor?
on Fox Sports 1. That's
Okay.
for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Tuesday we have baseball at Texas State. 6 p.m. Wednesday, softball's at Texas State again at 6 p.m.
Moving on to Thursday, men swimming and diving are at the American Short Course Championships. They are hosting those championships Friday. We got some baseball and basketball action for you. Baseball takes on Cal, start of a 3-game series. That's at 6 on LHN, and men's basketball plays at Oklahoma State at 8 on Friday night on ESPN2.
And then Saturday, women's tennis against Michigan, baseball against Cal. Another 4-game series for the baseball team. Women's basketball starts the Big 12 tournament on Saturday. Then Sunday, soccer as a small-sided tournament, and baseball finishes off against California. And men's women's swim dive, long course time trial.
Even it out.
Yeah, but before we go, Shaka Smart.
Love the guy.
He's bought in, I think, on Texas sports. There are not many games that Texas fans go and camp out for. Tonight against Kansas is one of them, and then Saturday against Oklahoma. Fans were there early and they're waiting, and Shaka paid them a visit. Well, let's take a look exactly what Shaka said. I'm going to take a turn from another Texas football coach, and I think Shaka's all in. He's all in on Texas.
Yeah, he's ready to ride. He's ready to ride for sure. The guy just gets it.
Yeah,
the guy gets it. I'm all in on Shaka.
Everyone truly loves him. He's going to change.
Shaka doesn't suck.
No, he doesn't. It's about 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m., and Shaka doesn't start.
Still does not suck, but OU still sucks. Whatever time it is, whatever time you're watching, OU still sucks. Quick predictions. Hopefully Texas doesn't suck tonight. Kansas tonight. Number 1 team in the land. Texas is 0-8 all-time versus number 1. Do they get it done tonight?
Kansas, was it 12 times now, Big 12 champs, 12 times in a row? But I think Texas does. They have this little moxie, this confidence going about them. I think Javon Felix actually has a big game, and the fans are going to go home with pluckers.
Yep.
That's the big call. That's the important call.
All right, that's what really matters. Javon Felix may not have a big game, but he has a giant chest, so that's really all that matters. He can lift big weights. I think Texas falls a little bit short of Oklahoma tonight. But we, again, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure to check us out on Twitter, @CollegePressBox, @CollegeXFire on Wednesday nights. And be with me and this guy from time to time on it's College Crossfire.
Yeah, that's your show. I wasn't going to I said Cotter Hayes earlier, Cotter Hayes. Pitch a little better, Cotter.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll learn your name, okay? We'll talk about you on Crossfire. We do love Crossfire. We know it well. Check us out on Snapchat as well. TSTV Sports, we're heading out of here. Enjoy the Kansas game. He's Caden Kinard. I'm Reese Miller. We'll see you next week, Monday night at 9:30.
Trying to doubt the South, that's fine. We riding dirty at the same time, shine. For all the dope boys pushing on the grind. For all the dope girls keeping